Was like when you went back to Lansing this year after school?
What life was like?
Yeah. Did you? How'd you blend in? How'd you see the old your friends?
It was different, being in Iowa City for a year and then going back home. It was different, and it was fun seeing my parents. I spent a lot of time with my family. I know what I had to. And, it was just a great feeling. It was unbelievable. It hit me in my heart. That's what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for my family. So.
What about seeing some of your old friends like Denzel? How much did you guys talk about your games and everything?
I hung out with them probably every day at night and during the day, to play open gym with Michigan State and stuff like that. It was fun, seeing them guys. They're doing well, and we all miss each other, and if we can be with each other for, every day of our life, we probably would do that. Like I said, we all got the same goal, so hopefully we meet up at the big stage.
Now, your other friends at Cleveland State, is that right? Yeah, so you guys were all pretty tight.
Yeah, he was back too. We all got to play together, a little 3-on-3, and like I said, an open gym with Michigan State. We got to play on the same team again. It was just a fun experience playing with them. I'll never forget playing with them. It's one of the best things that happened to me, and it made me become who I became. So all applause goes to them.
Now, looking back, that had been pretty tough though, because the two losses were so close, so excruciating. How much did you hear about that?
We don't really talk about that. That's the past, and we got 3 more years of this, so we'll be playing them again. It would have been fun to have some bragging rights, but even if we did win those 2, I wouldn't have went back and brag. It's just some. We're best friends, so. It's nothing really to talk about. They beat us, we got another shot at it, so that stuff really doesn't matter.
You do get to play there though this year.
Oh yeah, I played there a lot actually throughout my lifetime. So.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing there.
It'll be a little different because you were probably sitting in the zone before, and now you're going to be, they'll be throwing the papers up.
I'm used to it. I've been to a lot of Michigan State games, and sold out crowds, and I know what it's like to be there when it's a lot of people there. I heard the loudest, I heard the quietest. So I know what to expect when I'm going there. I know the atmosphere, the zone is crazy. The fans are crazy. And I know I'm going to have a lot of support there too, so it's something I'm looking forward to.
What did you learn from going up against some of those really good point guards in the league? Everybody from Trey Burke to Yogi Ferrell and Hollins and all
You got to know the game, you know what I'm saying? You got to, you can't just go out and play, you know what I'm saying? You got to know the game, you got to know where everybody is on the floor. You got to know how to use ball screens. You got to be able to take over a game when you have to. And you got to be in control. You got to set the pace of the game. And I actually talked to Trey Burke a couple times, about, how to have tone of the game. He gave me some good advice. After the game, he said, man, you just gotta run the game. You know what I'm saying? If you're the point guard and the starting point guard of your team, you just have to take control, no matter how the game is going. If you're on a run, you got to keep it going. If things going back, then you got to slow it down and take control. So, learning from that atmosphere from somebody that's in the NBA. And then, I talked to Magic Johnson, one of the greatest, you know what I'm saying? He gave me some advice about that. So, I actually got a good enough of knowledge about, and I just have to, there's still little bits of missing pieces in my game that I have to learn. So, that's something I'm looking forward to.
Is it tough to focus each and every possession when you're in an arena? There's 18,000, they're screaming, they're yelling, and when one step the wrong way could mean the difference between giving up the ball or...
Yeah, whenever you got a sellout crowd or 18,000 people in there, and, it's 3 minutes of the second half, it's crunch time, you just gotta be mentally tough. It's not even about physically and what your skill level is. It's all in the mental. You gotta tell yourself you have to slow the game down. You have to take advantage of every possession on the floor. And that's something my high school coach told me. Every possession counts. Like in the game today when I took the charge, that possession counted. If that bucket would have went in, they probably would have won that game. So. Like I said, that possession right there, that's a big time possession, And that's something I learned, just by knowing the game. You know what I'm saying? Every possession counts.
What areas did you need to grow the most, do you think, this off season to become the player you want to be?
Not taking any plays off, going hard all the time, and confidence. I feel like if my confidence is there, I'm one heck of a player. I feel like nobody can guard me. You can put anybody in front of me. I can lock anybody up that's in front of me if my confidence is right. And if I'm mentally tough and not telling myself I'm not tired, then I'm not going to be tired. I'm going to run the game, and that's what it's going to go.
You guys have so much competition on this team at every spot, all the way through. It's going to be neat to see how you guys come together as a group, throughout the season.
Yeah, at the end of the day, hopefully everybody is on the same page and everybody wants to win. It's not about this one player or these two players that are white and red or anybody like that. It's about us. And we have to come together as one, and get to the process of getting to the NCAA tournament and advancing. It's not about these two getting their numbers and then, losing, the 4-point games like that. It's not about that. It's about winning and advancing, So, hopefully everybody's on the same page, and that's going to get everybody to compete. And then once game time comes, we're all rooting for each other.
Okay. You had a baptism by fire with some of the guys you had to go up against night in and night out. Trey Burke, Appling to Pierre Jackson in the end. What did you learn from those experiences, and how have you applied them to your workouts this summer?
I learned a lot. Those are some of the best guards in the country. They proved it all year. So you just learn little tricks of the trade. They've been around. You can take things from every guy. Burke, just his leadership on the court. He's always looking for a shot. Same with Pierre Jackson. Those guys are always putting pressure on you, and you got to really guard them. So, I learned things on offense. I learned things on defense, and that's stuff that I can take this summer and continue to work on. Every day in practice. The big thing that I've been working on is my on-ball defense, because guys like that, Pierre Jackson, he's a lot quicker than I am. He's probably the quickest guard in the country, and so you got to learn things. You got to learn the footwork, different things to beat him to the spot.
Now you went up and had to go up against Malcolm Armstead, and that was kind of a game-changing moment at times for you. Was there one single player that you really watched your film on the court and went, okay, I know I have to do this differently to succeed the next time?
Well, a little bit of. I guess Wichita State was a big one for me, because that was a game I felt like I didn't play up to my best ability, and it was a big learning experience for me. After every game, we watched tons of film. I'm in there with the coaches, watching individual clips, watching team clips, and so I'm learning all that stuff. Different things that I didn't do well, and things that I did do well. So I can continue to improve on everything.
It wasn't too big of a transition for you moving from point to and then moving back to point at different times and then off guard, but how was that mentally for you to kind of adjust from just the thought of going from point guard to off guard?
I was a little bit used to it from AAU basketball, playing with Marcus Page, so it wasn't too tough for me. I was just out there playing basketball. I would say the hardest part for me was the plays at first. From the point guard spot, what everybody's doing. Just once you're in a different perspective, it's just takes a little bit to get used to, but it wasn't too bad. I got in a little bit extra time after practice to get those plays down, and then I was ready to go for the games. But I would say overall it wasn't too hard for me.
Is shooting a part of your game that you feel like you're working on even more of this summer?
Oh yeah, that's something that can always get better. Just working on my rhythm, getting that form, tuning it up, and then I've been working a lot with my finishes around the rim too. From high school to college. In high school, you could just get to the rim and get easy layups. In college, you got to get it over those bigs, so you got to take it through the contact. And so, learning different finishes around the rim and really trying to fine tune those.
Can you talk about your shooting struggles tonight, like how your mentality changes, or how you have to adjust your mentality?
Every game's differently. It's almost like a game of chess. You gotta see what they're doing and adjust to it. You can't always play the same way. You gotta take what the defense is giving you, and and so you just got to adjust throughout the game.
What led to that second half outburst you had? Do you think you shoot yourself into a rhythm, or?
Yeah, I just wasn't hitting shots the first half, so I started just trying to find teammates, and then when I started to hit my shot, then I kept looking to get that.
Going back to what you were saying about having to adjust from playing at 2 versus playing at 1, as you look ahead to next year, what do you see yourself doing more? Do you see yourself more in maybe that 2 role, or do you find yourself maybe playing at point, or does it just kind of?
I see myself more as a 1. I feel like Devin, even though he did play very well at the 1 down the stretch, I feel like he's a natural 2, and I feel like they can help him. But at the same time, I'm going to do whatever's best for the team. When Anthony's in, maybe I switch over to the 2. I feel like I can run both, and I feel like I can defend both. That's the biggest thing is it's not what you can play on offense, it's what you can guard. And so I have confidence in my ability that I can guard both positions and I can play both positions.
To some extent they're interchangeable though. I mean,
Yes.
it just depends on the set or who's bringing the ball up. May look like the point but not be the point, that sort of thing. On the court, other than kind of learning where you're supposed to go, like this year isn't going to be that big of a transition if Dev's the 1, you're the 2, and then how often will that change on the court, even though maybe you started at one position versus the other?
We do run different sets for different guys. So basically when I'm on the 2 out there, I'm basically like a second point guard. And same when Dev, Anthony, even Josh, any of us can take the ball up the court. So you get the outlet, and we're obviously a team that wants to get up and run. So they can always just take the outlet, and I'll take their spot and get up and down the floor because we want to push teams. We're going to be very deep this year, probably even deeper than last year, and so we really want to get out there and run.
As you get closer to your Europe trip, and I know earlier